Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're out at the range to shoot some M1 Garands, or if you actually know the name of the inventor, it's the M1 Garand. But the U.S. Army called it the Garand, therefore I call it the Garand. And joining me today is American Gun Chic.
What's up?
And she's traveling the country and she's swinging by. You were down at Eric's recently, you went to Tactical Response, you went to the internet YouTube shoot just recently.
Oh yeah, I've been traveling everywhere, you know, in an RV, just going all over the place and meeting people and shooting cool stuff, and yeah, just having a good time.
So she's new to the shooting sports and she's going around, you know, getting training, shooting with other people, and kind of, you know, talking to folks about the importance of becoming a gun owner. She's new to the shooting sports. She talks about her journey on her channel about learning how to use firearms. And today I want to share my passion with her and show her another side of owning firearms, and that's collecting military firearms, right? The Military Arms channel. So in light of that, I've brought out for her to shoot a couple of classics that I get an awful lot of requests for. This is my CMP M1 Garand. It is restocked by the CMP. It would be one of the rifles back in the day that you were able to get out of the civilian marksmanship program. It's a beautiful example, has the cartouche on it from the CMP's refinishing, and it's just a great shooting example of the M1 Garand. Then I brought out one that I know you guys always ask me to show more, and this is my baby, the M1D sniper rifle. The M1D, this is a papered CMP M1D sniper, so this is not a reproduction. A lot of people knock these off and make fake ones. So to get a real M1D requires, for me at least, to have CMP paperwork with it or having some letter of providence, because again, these things are so faked it's ridiculous. This is one of two different types of M1 sniper rifles that were commonly used. The C model, which was used during World War II, was more complex to manufacture, so they looked to make it simpler to manufacture the gun. And so this is a D model, which was the later evolution of the sniper system, and this one would have been used more likely in Korea. This gun wouldn't have been used in World War II. So the other one would have been used in World War II, not this particular rifle, but it would be pretty much exactly what a grunt would have used either in the Pacific Theater or in Europe. It would be their standard issue rifle. Both of these bad boys chamber 30-06. Have you ever shot a 30-06 before?
No, I don't think so, actually. I've actually shot a lot of things, like tons of different calibers and guns, but
I mean, you were shooting a bunch of stuff down at Eric's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing any M1 Garands out there though, but you were shooting all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah.
But that's almost too much to take in, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've been shooting for, it'll be 2 years at the end of this year.
Okay.
And I've shot a lot of things, but there's still like tons of guns out there that I've never seen or never shot or never heard of, you know, so.
We're gonna try to change that today. Give you a sampling of some of the stuff I'm very passionate about. Guys, she is left-handed, so we're gonna try to figure out if it's even possible for her to shoot this thing. It is not set up for left-handed use. You can see how the scope sets off to the left-hand side. It's definitely designed for a right-handed shooter, and I just wanna make sure that she's able to comfortably shoot it right-handed. I may be the only one shooting it today. We'll find out once we start playing around with the rifles here a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to load up. Now this is also interesting. You see me wearing this as a clip with a paper clip shirt?
Yeah.
Guys, this is a clip. This is an end-block clip. So this will be probably your first time actually firing a weapon that uses a clip instead of a magazine. So this is what a clip looks like, guys. And why is it a clip? Because all it's doing is clipping or holding the cartridges together. The actual spring that would make it a magazine is housed inside of the rifle. So you put the stripper clip into the magazine well here, and the spring that pushes the rounds up is built into the rifle. So I always thought that would be cool. Kind of something fun to point out to a new shooter. All right, guys, let's get these loaded up. Let's do a little bit of shooting, have some fun this afternoon, and see what American Gun Chic thinks of the M1 Garand rifles. All right, guys, now I'm going to show American Gun Chic how to load the M1 Garand rifle. We have our end block clip, which is holding 8 rounds of 30-06. And again, this is your magazine spring right here. So there's this thing called M1 Garand thumb. We want to avoid earning that stripe. You don't want the M1 Garand thumb. How to avoid that is you take your end block clip, put it on top of the rifle. I'm going to put the meaty portion of my hand right here on the charging handle. I'm going to hold that to the rear while I seat the clip until it clicks into place. When it does that, I can release the meaty portion of my hand and it will want to go home, but usually you have to give it a little bit of help. If you don't do it the way I just showed you, there's a very good chance that it will go home under Murphy's Law and take a big chunk of flesh off your thumb. So I'll help you get it loaded. I'll teach you how to do it. It's also important to note that the safety's right here. I had the safety on the weapon so that the gun is safe. The trigger can't be pulled. To make the weapon ready to fire, I put my finger in the trigger guard and push that forward. and now I can pull the trigger and the weapon will fire. Okay? So I'm gonna take a few shots at the challenge steel target down here, show you what it's like, and then we'll go back and we'll put you on a rest for your first few rounds and see what you think. Okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Ah. Silly me. All right, so
awesome.
See that? I screwed one up. I'm shooting a little bit right on the target. But so you saw what happened when it finished up, right?
Yeah. It just spits that out. Like...
Yep, this goes cha-ching, and it makes that awesome sound. So it's actually a very pleasant gun to shoot. It may look like it has a lot of recoil. Just make sure you got it tight into your shoulder. Don't give it airspace so it gets a run at you. Otherwise, that'll cause it to maybe hurt a little bit. Tight into the shoulder, you should be good to go. You want to give it a shot?
Yeah, let's
do it. All right, let's do it, guys. So this is American Gun Chic's very first time firing this rifle. We wanted to capture her response to shooting one of these things for the very first time. Hopefully it's excitement. Hopefully you're like, wow, this is awesome. But let's see what you do. So I'm gonna load the rifle for her and she's gonna shoot it. I'm still not too comfortable teaching her how to use the rifle in terms of loading it just yet because I wanna make sure that she doesn't get bit by the rifle. So I'm gonna load this first in block into the rifle for her and then we'll progress and hopefully we'll get you before the end of the day loading the gun up. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so let me load this for you.
Before you know it, I could take a fighting rifle with this class.
So there's a little groove back here and there's little nubs on the back of the end block. So basically just set it all the way to the rear. You can either grab the charging handle like this, or I always do it with my hand like this, and I can use both thumbs to push the clip down. And then when it locks into place, that bolt wants to go home. Just tap it with the palm of your hand. Now the weapon is unsafe. I showed you how that worked. And now you're ready to shoot. All right? So
awesome.
Just make sure you keep your hand away from this and don't get your hand too forward up here because we have the gas system.
All right, I'm gonna put my hand about right here.
Yep, that should be fine. And pull it nice and tight into your shoulder. And you see that challenge target that we're shooting at right there?
Yep.
Okay. Line up your sights just like you were taught, and you should be able to hit that sucker every time.
Got him.
Yep.
Oh.
It went right over your back, almost caught it. So,
I thought that was you like telling me to stop, like, hey.
no, that was this rolling down your back.
Oh, that's funny.
Isn't that funny? So what did you think?
This is awesome. I like it. I kind of want one for myself, but I guess they're really hard to find. So.
No, actually, you can find them. They're not inexpensive, but if you get a CMP rifle or you can get an old one that isn't known to have been in World War II, collectors really like those. You can find them online, a gun broker and places like that for a fairly reasonable amount of money. They're not stupid expensive. Yeah. It's not like the M1D,
cool.
which is more desirable. Just a standard shooter M1 Garand, you can pick it up for a really, really good price.
Yeah, this is really cool. I like this gun. Because I've shot a lot of stuff, so it gets kind of, boring and bland. And then when you try something different and it's from World War II, then it's exciting,
Well, when you shoot your AR-15, you can see what we used before that rifle. So
yeah.
World War I, we were using bolt actions. World War II, we were one of the very first nations to field a rifle this advanced. Most belligerent nations during the Second World War were still using bolt actions, and we had this since the late 30s. So going into World War II, we had this rifle. It was a decided advantage for our soldiers to have this gun when everybody else had bolt actions. Then you go into the Korean War, we still use these. Then you see the M14 come in as we go into Vietnam, and then the M16 took over in Vietnam, and that's where we're at today, is still with the M16. So you can see the history of the U.S. military service rifles. And that's what drives my passion for these things, is that history.
Wow.
Could you imagine being in Europe or being in the Pacific and carrying this thing around with all the ammo? I mean, it's a big rifle.
I know.
Wood and steel.
Yeah, you're not going to conceal this,
It's a lot of fun. Cool. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, that was fun.
Let's load it up again.
Let's do it.
You guys are always asking me, where can I get the shirt you're wearing, Mac? Well, we've partnered with Forged from Freedom, and now we have our own Mac collection over on Forged for Freedom. There is a link down below so you can have your very own Does It Take Glock Mags t-shirt, and there's many others you can choose from. So swing by and check out our t-shirt store. So guys, I really want to teach her how to load the Garand for herself. You can't really appreciate the rifle if somebody's doing all the loading for you. I'll try to make sure that you don't get bit by it. Okay, so we're gonna put the weapon on safe, and we're gonna take the end block. So hold the rifle like this. Go ahead and face this way. I'll stand behind you so I can make sure. Just point the muzzle down range, put the stock over here, hold it like that. All right, so now you're gonna just set the magazine on top like that. Rounds facing forward. Okay, now I'm gonna hold this to the rear and I can help you support it now. Use both hands to push that all the way down. It really takes some pressure. Push, 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 push. Almost. Push.
We're almost there.
Push.
Hold on, let me get...
Push really hard, really hard. It's almost there.
It's almost there. Man, this is...
It's not easy, is it? Here, I'll push a little bit for you. There it goes.
There we go.
So right there. Now watch your thumb, because this is where it can bite it. Now, with the palm of your hand, see it just closed without me touching it? That's what you want to avoid. All right, so you almost did it. It takes a lot of thumb pressure to get that thing to seat and snap into place.
You just gotta hope you don't have to reload.
And that's how people get hurt. Well, the grunts, the soldiers got really fast at reloading these, right? But the minute it snaps, that's when the bolt wants to go home.
Yeah.
And that's why he put the hand right there. So that's why I was trying to help you out there, because if you had both thumbs there, pushing as hard as you could, and you had nothing holding that charging handle back, wham, your thumb goes in battery with the round. Okay, from the shoulder. You gonna shoot it left-handed?
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'll stand over here. Remember your safety's on.
All right.
Kind of lean into it just a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit more recoil than a 5.56. Yeah, you're good. I'll tell you if it's gonna hurt you if you're in a bad spot there. Oh, almost caught it.
Oh.
All right, go ahead and put it on safe. Just push that back.
So you really got to manhandle these guns.
Yeah, that takes a little bit of force, right?
Yeah.
So what'd you think?
It's awesome. I like it.
You handled that recoil really well.
Thank you.
So it just pushed you back. You went right back to the target. So
yeah, I've shot 50 cals standing up like that. So
okay,
that was like not that bad.
This is nothing compared to that.
Yeah.
So what do you think now after having shot it?
I like it. That's a good gun. I like the sights because you know you are focusing mostly on just your front sight, and you put it on there and it'll hit it. You know, the sights are really nice. I like the detail of like the wood, the way it feels. It's really smooth. It's really clean too.
It's a really, really nice American walnut, and these would be the very same stocks that actually we put on the rifles to send them into war. I mean, when they left the arsenal, when they were newly manufactured, this is what they would look like, and this is how nice they were. And then by the end of the conflict, they were pretty beat up. Sometimes they had to be restocked. They definitely had to be refinished. But yeah, it's a completely different world using one of these versus a modern aluminum AR-15 with polymer stocks. It's definitely something to shoot, isn't it?
Yeah, it kind of has that style, like it looks like an AK, but the trigger's nice, the recoil's nice, but loading is going to take some practice.
Takes some practice, yeah. Takes a little bit of thumb strength, but we'll get you there. Let me show you how to load the end block clip. Now these rifles would have been issued with a bandolier that would have had these clips preloaded, but as you pointed out, this is actually a clip, not a magazine. So you just put the round in and push it all the way back, and I just kind of hold it with my finger. So you just put a round in there, hold it down, put the next one in, and make sure it goes all the way back and seats. Then you put another one in and see how it's just staggering left, right, and it holds 8 total. So every time I put another round in, I'm pushing it back until I feel it hit a lip back there that's catching it by its rim to keep it in the end block clip. Put another one in, and now I can put one more in to top it off, and so you have to push down pretty hard, kind of roll the rim in and push back until it clicks, and then I just do this, make sure that all the noses are of equal height if you have one sticking out, it's not fully seated. But that's a loaded in block clip. I've gone ahead and loaded the M1D for American Gun Chic because I don't want her even to attempt it because she won't have the use of both thumbs due to the location of the M84 optic. So the gun's on safe, it's loaded up, it's ready to go. Just take that post that you see in the optic and put it right on the target. We've already confirmed, guys, that she can safely shoot the gun from the left hand. She's just using her left eye and it's working really well, and she's staying away from the ejection port, so we're good to go. Have at it. Should be fun. Watch that hand.
Did I get it?
Yep, nailed it.
Both of them.
It likes to slide around a little bit.
All right, so what did you think?
This is awesome too. That scope is really cool, and
I mean, isn't that neat? Given the age of this system, it works pretty well, doesn't it?
Yeah. It actually works better than some of our standard guns today, you know, so.
It's still, by today's standards, a very, very capable rifle for what it was intended for. So
yeah.
I'm glad you had the opportunity to shoot it. Not too many people can shoot one of these nowadays. They're getting more and harder and harder to find because collectors put them in their vaults like I do, and you never see them again. You know, until they're sold at the state. So, yeah, it's one of my favorite rifles. That's what I say about them all.
Yeah.
I don't have a not favorite rifle.
Yeah, thank you for letting me shoot these. These are really cool. I like these rifles.
I get a kick out of having new shooters appreciate these because if I can pass this along to you and your generation, then you carry the American tradition forward.
Yeah.
So I will always welcome a new shooter to come out and shoot with us here on the Mac Range because to me, it's all about teaching my own children and anybody else that's interested to carry that tradition forward, because if you don't do it, nobody will, and we'll lose our rights.
Exactly. And it's cool because a lot of people will be like, check out this gun, it's, you know, they'll give you all the history, and then you look at it, you're like, that's cool, but when you actually shoot it and you feel like the power of it and the way it works and you learn all about it, then you really start to appreciate it, and it makes you want to research more and learn more about it and its history. And so I think it's pretty cool to be able to shoot one of the guns, you know?
Shooting a piece of history, literally.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Exactly.
Well, guys, it's time to wrap things up. We've burned through all my 30-06, and I trust that American Gun Chic had a good time shooting a Garand for the first time. What did you think?
I had a lot of fun. A lot of fun, because it was something new and different, and just the way it looks is so pretty, and the way it feels. And I don't know anything about this type of gun right here, and this is my first time shooting it ever, and using a clip instead of a magazine, which is totally different because I've never used a clip, and just the recoil wasn't bad at all. And the traditional sights on here, the stock sights, are really nice, and just shooting it was fun. And I got to go out and buy one myself. I mean, the next gun I purchase would probably be this one.
Are you really? You think so?
Yeah.
That would be cool. So compared to an AR-15, which one would you have more fun shooting?
Honestly, this.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that because I'm on his channel right now. This really, this really was really cool to shoot. Just loading it was the hard part for me.
Yeah.
Loading it was a little tricky, but it just takes practice.
Yep, with practice, you can easily master that. You know, 30-06 is readily available, and it's such a cool piece of history. And guys, this is what I always tell folks, buying these old milsurps, now's the time to do it. If you find one that you want and you can afford it, pick it up now because the price is never gonna go down. I remember when the CMP was selling these for a few $100, and now you can't touch one that's even in shooting condition for less than $1,000. So, I mean, it's not ridiculously priced for a shooter, but still the prices just keep getting higher and higher. So if you want that M1 carbine, you want that Enfield, you want that Mauser, you want that M1 Garand, there's no better time than the present if you have the money, because they're solid investments and they're never going to get any less expensive, and they're just so much fun to shoot. I mean, can you smell that walnut when that oiled walnut when you first put it to your shoulder? You can smell the oil and you can smell the wood.
Yeah,
it's just a whole different experience.
How smooth it is. Like, I had to take my jacket off when we were shooting halfway because it's like not velvet, but it's
like a fleece.
Yeah, fleece. And so it was sliding around, and I'm like, wow, this is really smooth and really just a clean nice gun, you know?
It's a lot of fun to shoot.
Yeah.
Well, guys, if you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms Channel and other content creators, you may consume their content regularly, please swing by and check out Patreon. Over at Patreon, you can support us directly. You can get behind-the-scenes information. Freedom Munitions does a giveaway every month, $100 worth of ammo, and we usually give it out to 2 different Patreons randomly. We'll send out stuff from videos that we shoot, and we post pictures, and I answer all emails and PMs, so you have direct access to us here at the channel, both Jason and I. So it's a great way to support us, but not just the Military Arms Channel, guys. Consider supporting other video creators like American Gun Chic. She's also on Patreon, as are many of your favorite gun channels. YouTube has basically killed monetization for many of us. They're punishing some of us for having firearms content. They're deleting our videos, giving us strikes, threatening to take away our accounts. So we're in a constant battle just to have a presence here on YouTube. So please consider, joining Patreon and supporting those content creators you regularly watch. Also, if you'd like to support us here at the Military Arms Channel, you can swing by Copper Custom. Copper Custom is our online store. We have a bunch of cool products at really good prices, and you can find us there at coppercustom.com. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for all those years of support. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Oh, and by the way, American Gun Chic is spelled C-H-I-C, no K. Because every time people Google me, they try and put American Gun Chic, like C-H-I-C-K. No K.
Link down below. Thanks, guys.